strike. Got the big man. Crabtree pulls free. And touchdown. Red Raiders with a second to go.
This is one of the most iconic plays in college football history, and Michael Crabtree is arguably one of the greatest wide receivers to ever play the game of college football, and definitely one of the most polarizing players to ever exist. He took over the college football world with Mike Leach and Graham Harrell at Texas Tech, and he was supposed to be an NFL superstar. But after examining his NFL career, some may have said he was a bust compared to his height. Today, I want to take a look back at Crabtree's career and his entire football story. If you love college football though, be sure to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like, as it will really help the video grow. It'll help it get in the algorithm and I can make more videos like this. Let me know who I should do next and turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload of mine. And now let's get started with what happened to Michael Crabtree. Like a lot of kids, Crabtree was born in the fertile football grounds of Texas, more specifically Dallas. He loved football from a young age and was definitely a big-time athlete. When he got to David W. Carter High School, he played basketball, football, and ran track for the Cowboys. He played as a quarterback for the Carter Cowboys high school football team, and he was good. As a senior, he passed for 870 yards and 11 touchdowns on only 45 completions out of 100 attempts. He also ran for 646 yards and 9 touchdowns on 100 carries. As you could tell, he wasn't exactly a pass-first guy, but he was a big-time athlete, and he was a 4-star football recruit as an athlete. But he was also a star basketball player. So what sport was he going to play? Apparently on a visit back in 2004, Bob Knight asked Crabtree which sport he was going to choose. Despite the decision being really tough for Michael, he opted to play college football exclusively, and I'm pretty sure he ended up making the right call on that one. He was offered football scholarships by schools such as Baylor, Illinois, Iowa, Kansas State, Oklahoma, Texas A&M, Texas Tech, and Kansas, and he's also recruited by the home state school, Texas, but the coaches wanted him to play defense. Crabtree did not want to play defense, and he refused that, stating that he wanted to score touchdowns and he had faith in himself. And you could probably say he made Texas pay for this. Because he played so many different positions, there really wasn't a consensus on what kind of recruit he was. He was rated a 4-star recruit by Rivals, but only a 2-star by Scout, and he wasn't rated at all by 24/7 Sports, so he was a relative unknown, and I don't think anyone knew how he was going to do when he got to college. Crabtree ended up getting redshirted his freshman year at Texas Tech because of a transcript glitch and a position change from quarterback to wide receiver. I'm not exactly sure how a transcript glitch happens and why that can hold a guy out, but that is what happened. But the more important thing here is that he moved to wide receiver. In 2007, Crabtree started his redshirt freshman season against SMU. The Red Raiders won 49-9, and Crabtree stood out with 106 yards receiving on 12 catches for 3 touchdowns. A new star was born in his first game. But would he continue it? The following week, they won 45-31 over UTEP, and he continued his performance with 15 catches for 188 yards and 2 touchdowns. Against another home state school of Rice, Crabtree put up 244 yards on 11 catches for 3 touchdowns. In Tech's first loss of the year against Oklahoma State, he had 14 catches for 237 yards and 3 touchdowns. These are the kind of numbers you have in an NCAA football dynasty, not a real college football game, especially for a guy who just switched to the position and is playing in his first 3 games. In a contest against Iowa State, Crabtree had 10 catches for 154 yards and 3 touchdowns. During that Iowa State game, Crabtree broke the season record for most touchdown receptions by a freshman receiver ever. During a game against Colorado later in the year, he made his 99th catch. This set 3 records simultaneously: most single-season receptions by a freshman, most single-season receptions by a Red Raider, and most single-season touchdowns by a Big 12 player with 18. Crabtree finished his freshman year with 144 catches for 1,962 yards and 22 touchdowns. Before the beginning of his sophomore season, CBS Sports listed Crabtree as a Heisman hopeful. Texas Tech's quarterback Graham Harrell's name was also on that list. In his first game, he had 164 yards and 3 touchdowns against SMU and was back to his normal self after a slow start to the season. The most memorable moment of his career, and probably Texas Tech football history, came when the Red Raiders then upset number 1 Texas 39-33. Down 33-32 with just a few seconds left, Tech drove down into Longhorns territory and had a ball that should have been picked off. Literally one of the easiest interceptions you could ever ask for as a defender was dropped. Quarterback Graham Harrell threw a pass in double coverage to Crabtree inside the 10-yard line. He grabbed the pass, shook a defender off the sideline, and ran into the end zone for the game-winning touchdown with a second left in the game. But unfortunately, all the fans stormed the field, they took the goalpost down and everything, and they had so many unsportsmanlike penalties that they kicked off from their own 10-yard line. In the Oklahoma State game, Crabtree recorded 89 yards and 3 touchdowns on 8 catches. He extended his streak of at least 5 catches and a touchdown to 13 games, placing him in a tie for second all-time. Crabtree started the year with the expectation that he'd compete for the Heisman Trophy, and in the end, he finished 5th in the Heisman voting, garnering 3 first-place votes. He had a ton of big games, especially the Texas one, but he also battled an ankle injury on and off, but he still had a massive sophomore campaign. Despite not having as good of a year, he still managed to catch 97 balls for 1,165 yards and 19 touchdowns, which was just 3 less than the season prior. Teams could not guard this guy. The hype of his career probably came when EA Sports announced that Crabtree would be the guy featured on the cover of NCAA Football 10. But he wasn't going to be there to play in 2010. Crabtree had received multiple honors due to his accomplishments at Texas Tech. In addition to being a 2-time first-team All-American, he also won the Biletnikoff Award twice and the Paul Warfield Award. He won over 30 college football awards and was the poster child for college football. So obviously, the next step was for him to take over the NFL, right? The San Francisco 49ers drafted Crabtree as the 10th overall pick in the 2009 NFL Draft. NFL draft analyst Mel Kiper Jr. had projected Crabtree to be selected by the Seattle Seahawks with the 4th overall pick. Darius Hayward-Bay would go 7th overall, and he was the first wide receiver taken, and as we all know, he was a complete bust. On July 28, 2009, his career got off to a weird start as Crabtree failed to report to training camp because he had no contract. His training camp no-show was the first for a rookie since 2005. By September 9, 2009, Crabtree had set a 49ers record by becoming the longest rookie to hold out in franchise history and was prepared to enter the 2010 NFL Draft if things didn't change. After some potential tampering by the New York Jets, it was finally reported that he had agreed to a 6-year contract that would be worth $32 million. Crabtree would make his first career NFL start against the Texans, catching 5 passes for 56 yards, and he led all rookie receivers in yards per game with 56.8. In the 2010 season, he had finished with 55 catches for 741 yards and 6 receiving touchdowns, which was lower than many expected for his sophomore year. Going into 2011, despite some injury issues, Crabtree finished the year with a career high in both receptions with 72 and receiving yards 874. In 2012, Crabtree posted his first season with more than 1,000 yards receiving as he continued to develop as a player and grow into the role as the number 1 target in the 49ers passing game. He played well all year the next year, and Crabtree would have 5 catches for 109 yards and a touchdown in their Super Bowl loss to the Ravens. He had hurt his Achilles the next year and didn't play until December, and this was a very disappointing season. In 2014, in a loss to the Cardinals, he recorded a career-high 10 catches, which went for 80 yards and a touchdown, but this would be his last year as a 49er. He ended up signing with the Raiders and finished the 2015 season with 85 catches for 922 yards and 9 touchdowns, which definitely is not bad. In 2016, Crabtree recorded his second career 1,000-yard season and his first since 2012. Crabtree finished the 16 season with a career-high 89 catches for 1,003 yards and 8 touchdowns. Crabtree finished the 2017 season with 58 catches for 618 yards and 6 touchdowns, and they ended up releasing him though because he had never really lived up to the hype. With a last-ditch effort to save his career, the Baltimore Ravens gave him another chance, and he finished the regular season with 54 catches for 607 yards and 3 touchdowns. After the year, he was released, and his career was practically over. He did have a weird stint with the Cardinals where he was signed for a few weeks, but he was cut. So what exactly happened, and why did Michael Crabtree fail to live up to the hype? He only had 2 1,000-yard seasons, never caught more than 9 touchdowns in a season, never looked like a wide receiver 1, got injured seemingly every year, and never even got a Pro Bowl appearance. He torched the college football world, and his game just didn't translate to the NFL, and it could be karma for some of his lockout stuff. Crabtree was good in the NFL, but he just wasn't the player many expected. Both Percy Harvin and Jeremy Maclin were better first-round wide receivers, and they went behind him, but I think Crabtree kind of gets more of a pass because of just how bad Darius Hayward-Bay ended up being. So what do you guys think of Crabtree and his career? I was definitely a little bit too young to really follow a lot of his career, but I remember watching that Texas game and that play he made, and I remember just how polarizing he was, even though I was so young. Crabtree is definitely one of the more nostalgic players in college football history, especially over the last decade, and a lot of people expected him to do better in the NFL, but it just didn't work out. Be sure to let me know what you think down in the comment section, and why you think he didn't end up living to the hype in the NFL. I'm also curious to see if you guys think he's a bust. One last thing to leave down in the comment section is another player I should do next. I want to start doing players that played a little longer ago, so if you're a little bit older and you have some other guys you think I should do, be sure to let me down in the comment section so I can research them and make some videos up for you guys. Before you go, give the video a like, make sure to subscribe, share this video with your friends, comment your thoughts, suggest a future video topic, and turn on post notifications before you go. If you're still here, check out all my other What Happened to College Football videos, and until next time, peace.